Our top story, another day, same old chaos in Parliament. That's been the story of India's Parliament over the last couple of weeks. First, the Adani issue stalled proceedings, and now Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. For a second day in a row, Congress MPs turned up wearing black clothes in protest. They rushed to the well of the House and chanted slogans against the government. So both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha were adjourned within minutes. But in this short time, there was maximum chaos. Congress MPs tore up pieces of Rahul Gandhi's disqualification notice and threw it at the Speaker's chair. We are also hearing that the Congress is planning to move a no-confidence motion against Speaker Om Birla. Outside the House, the opposition organized a march from Parliament to Vijay Chowk. In response, a few BJP MPs participated in a counter-protest. They accused Rahul Gandhi of insulting OBC communities with his comments on the Modi surname. Listen in to all the reactions that have come in so far.
मैं जानती हूँ क्या कहा है। शब्द राहुल गांधी के हैं, संस्कार सोनिया गांधी का है, बस जबान युवा कांग्रेस की है। और ये मैं इसलिए कह रही हूँ कि ये पहले युवा कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष नहीं हैं जो अभद्र टिप्पणी कर रहे हैं। इसीलिए कहती हूँ, शब्द राहुल गांधी के हैं, संस्कार सोनिया गांधी की हैं, और जब तक ये दो हैं तब तक कांग्रेस का वो नेता जो प्रमोशन चाहेगा मुझ पर इस प्रकार की टिप्पणियां करता रहेगा।
ये ओबीसी का ठेकेदार ना मोदी बने ना स्मृति ईरानी बने, क्योंकि ओबीसी के नाम करते हुए ये लोग और कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ सियासत करना चाहते हैं। जो हो गया सो भूल जाओ मोदी जी और ईरानी जी। अभी तुम्हारे सारे गुब्बारा से गैस निकल चुके हैं। राहुल गांधी जी से भागते हुए मोदी जी आज स्मृति ईरानी को तैनात कर रही है। वो अगर ना कहेगी तो उनकी नौकरी भी चली जाएगी बेचारी की।
Now, as the opposition protests Rahul Gandhi's disqualification, the Lok Sabha Secretariat is moving to remove his perks and privileges. Yesterday, they had asked Rahul Gandhi to vacate his government bungalow. Today, Rahul Gandhi has replied to that request, saying he will abide by it as soon as possible. Mr. Gandhi also recounted what he called happy memories at the government residence. Now, Rahul Gandhi has been staying at his government bungalow in Tughlaq Lane since 2005. That's when he first became an MP. The order to vacate it has led to a war of words between the Congress and the BJP. The Congress is calling it a plan to divert attention from the Adani issue. Meanwhile, the BJP says government property does not belong to the Congress.
You know, for someone like Rahul Gandhi, who has walked from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, a distance of close to 3,700 kilometers, a government bungalow in Lutyens, Delhi does not hold any special attraction. His message is simple, that today the Prime Minister has been involved with Mr. Gautam Adani, and therefore, due to Prime Minister Modi's blessings, money of the public, whether deposited in SBI, Employment Provident Fund Organization, or an LIC, has been deposited in Adani's groups. This is a clear national security risk. So all the government is trying to do on Rahul Gandhi is a huge exercise in distraction, but we will not be distracted.
घर उनका नहीं है, जनता का है। देखिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी इस बात की आदी हो चुकी है कि जैसे अमेठी में गरीब नागरिकों की जमीन हड़प ली, वैसे ही आज देश की राजधानी में टैक्स पेयर का मकान हड़प लेंगे।
Now, as we speak, the Congress party is preparing for a flaming torch march, a mashal march as they are calling it, from Red Fort to the town hall, which is in Delhi's Chandni Chowk. They are calling it a Save Democracy March. Now, it is expected to start by around 7 p.m. this evening all Congress MPs will be participating in this walk with flaming torches in their hands. Let me go straight across to my colleague, Tejshri, who's tracking the preparations at Red Fort. As I said, there is still approximately an hour to go before the Mashal March starts. Thank you very much for joining us, Tejshri, here on Mirror Now. I'm coming to you right away. Just show us what's happening where you are.
Well, we are standing here at Red Fort, Fort White now. Various
Okay, I can barely hear you there, Tejshri. I can barely hear you there, Tejshri. So we'll come to you once we have a clearer audio and video line with you. But the Congress, as I said, preparing for a Mashal March in the heart of Delhi to protest against what they are calling the murder of democracy. Let me then go across to Congress MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi. He is also the Congress's legal eagle. There are some questions that I have for him, and there are some questions that the BJP is asking of the Congress party as well. So I'm putting all those questions to Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Sir, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. Always good to have you on the show. Mr. Singhvi, can I ask you, what is the point of all the protests that we have seen in the last 72 hours since Sunday?
Well, if the point is being missed, and I don't mean by you, but by anyone inadvertently or deliberately, then I can only call it a motivated miss. The point is multifarious, but it's a very, very basic and important point. It's a hodgepodge of multiply related points. Point number one, that Rahul Gandhi is being intimidated, victimized, hounded, harassed. Point number two, it is not Rahul Gandhi, but the larger concept of free speech by parliamentarians, by MLAs, threaten them by apologies, threaten them by privilege notices, threaten them by taking action in defamation with them, etc., etc. Point number three is a continuous fear psychosis and ambience of threat and fear through the misuse of agencies. Point number four is that there is disruption by the ruling setup repeatedly, unprecedented in parliamentary history, on the ground that if you go abroad and you come back, first apologize. If you speak in parliament, first apologize. Otherwise, we won't allow parliament to run. If you speak elsewhere, you first apologize. This first apologize principle is unprecedented. So and of course, the fifth point is the Adani JPC principle. All these are now coalescing in a united front by a united set of parties cutting across the political spectrum, no doubt having differences amongst them on other issues. But on these 5-6 issues, which are considered a threat to democracy itself, they are converging, coalescing, and completely consolidated.
Okay, speaking about a joint opposition, Mr. Singhvi, the fact is that there are your own allies who are disturbed by Rahul Gandhi's attacks, constant attacks on Savarkar. The NCP, Uddhav Thackeray, both very uncomfortable. They have articulated as much. Where is the need for Mr. Gandhi to then bring up Savarkar over and over again if it endangers opposition unity?
Let me just answer your question in this way. First and foremost, and I don't mean you, I'm saying obviously you're asking questions as a representative of the press. But those who are seeing the Savarkar sentence in Rahul Gandhi's presser are guilty of seeing the glass 9/10 empty and 1/10 full. There could be a way of seeing it 9/10 full. Let me answer the question by another way. Yesterday, that is less than 24 hours, and you are a very intrepid journalist, who attended the Kharge residence meeting? There were parties who had rarely ever come out. There was Sharad Pawar himself at that meeting. There was JDU, Lalan Prasad Singh. Of course, there was TMC. Now, the whole point is, Shreya, and that's an important point to underline, that while accepting that regional parties, while accepting that diverse parties for geographical, local, regional considerations do have differences, nobody's papering over. They are still prepared to come together on a common set of issues. And they did so yesterday. Yesterday, of course, was floor leaders, mostly, not the leaders themselves. But many leaders came. Many leaders came. And there was the people. Now, of course, let us say, take Savarkar. Rahul Gandhi made one sentence about apology. And it has been clarified that there was no condemnation or no issue of Savarkar. This is only to divert matters. It suits the BJP to divert matters by raising these issues. At the moment, on the 5 or 6 issues I itemized for you, there is a tremendous amount of synergy. Now, it is true that somebody, for their local considerations, may have misunderstood that remark. And Rahul Gandhi has clarified it in the meeting yesterday. So you should see the glass 9/10 full in the meeting and the issues and the demonstrations outside Gandhi statue and the convergence inside and outside Parliament, and not necessarily see the 1/10 of differences.
Okay, so here's something that the BJP is asking, and not just the BJP. There are other people who are wondering about it as well, as they see the events unfold in Parliament and outside. Why hasn't there been an appeal against the Surat judgment? The BJP is saying, don't crib about the law. If you have a problem with it, challenge it. Why hasn't the Congress party challenged the conviction and the sentencing yet?
Who says that? Who's saying that? You see, the point is, these are all nice, salacious comments. They are saying more. Why do you complete the sentence? They are saying that it is not being challenged because the Congress wants Rahul Gandhi to be disqualified. They are saying that the entire Congress is ganged up against Rahul Gandhi. Do you think such sinister conspiracy theories deserve to be dignified with a response? Now, let me tell you, anybody who knows anything about the law, and I accept that there is some delay beyond what should have been, knows that a 170-page judgment in Gujarati, when the lawyers who are preparing it, and that's not me, by the way, the Sessions Court, we have requested a very senior criminal lawyer to appear, being prepared by lawyers who are not Gujaratis, need Gujarati to English translations. They need accurate translations of evidence, after which grounds of appeal are made. Logistics are involved. Now, it is true that you may be able to do it in 6 days. I may take 8 days. But to suggest that you press a button because on 23rd of March a judgment came and on 26th you should have filed, is, even to those pundits of the BJP who know the law, is nothing but sheer ignorance. You don't file a matter in the court in a haphazard, clumsy, convoluted manner with commas and full stops all over the place, meanings distorted. Now, it is true that it has taken a little longer than we thought it would. It is true, I accept it. But to go to the extent of conspiracy theories is laughable. It just shows that the BJP is desperate because it needs something. See, it needs, number one, a OBC diversion. Our chief ministers sit on the screen, Baghel this side, Gehlot the other side, and they need an OBC diversion. They need to distort a remark of Rahul Gandhi, which actually said, these named people, how come their surnames are this? Then he never said the reverse, that all OBCs have these surnames. But it suits you to distort. It suits them to distort a conspiracy theory because at the moment they are frustrated and they are confused about the enormous outpouring of support for his victimization, for the convergence of opposition parties. And naturally, we have to go with all guns blazing to stay the conviction. That's the law. How else can his disqualification be stayed? Of course, we are going there. And we don't need advice from very, very accomplished persons, both in your tribe press and in my tribe lawyers, many of whom know nothing about what's happening, giving unasked, gratuitous, misleading, and distorted advice.
Okay, speaking of conspiracy theories, you've spoken of some. Here is another one, and I'd want you to address it. the BJP is saying it's not us who is desperate, it's the Congress party that is desperate, which is why नाखून कटा नहीं कि राहुल गांधी को शहीद बनाने में चले गए. Quote unquote, this is Ravi Shankar Prasad, essentially to say that the Congress is not appealing the Surat court's judgment or conviction simply because they want to make Rahul Gandhi a martyr and use it to their advantage in the Karnataka elections.
So that is the whole point. That's what I said it before you did, no? I formulated the conspiracy theory. कर्नाटक इलेक्शन कब है? ये अपील कब तक फाइल होगी? अगर ये अपील अगले हफ्ते लिस्ट हो गई कोर्ट में, तो आप वापस प्रोग्राम करेंगे कि वही लोग कह रहे हैं कि अब कर्नाटक के पहले कैसे हो गई लिस्ट? तब कोई प्रमाण ये प्रश्न पूछेगा कि कर्नाटक के पहले कैसे हो गई लिस्ट? हमको तो ये भुनाना है कर्नाटक में. और ये बताइए मुझे कि इसको भुनाने के लिए अपील हम फाइल पहले करें या बाद में करें? जो राहुल गांधी के साथ व्यवहार हुआ है, जो उनके साथ क्रूरता हुई है, वो कैसे बदलेगी? चाहे मैं पहले अपील फाइल करूं या बाद में अपील फाइल करूं. तो ये सब चीजें देखिए, यू नो दैट पंचतंत्र टेल, द फादर एंड द सन वॉक विद द डोंकी. Everybody will criticize all formulations and combinations. Do you think we work according to these constructions, these comments? Not at all. I think there is a genuine confusion, a lot of, bokhlahat, if I may use that word, within the BJP. They are astonished at the amount of public sympathy which they themselves, their surveys tell them, their outreach tells them, which Rahul Gandhi has gained. It is not Bharat Jodo. It is not this even. It's a totality. That here is a man who's sincere. He's walking with he's playing with a straight bat. He's walking with a straight head, and you are out to get him on the most trivial things. You tell me, Shreya, how many cases do you know? You don't have to be a lawyer for that. How many cases do you know? I, at least with my limited experience in law, have not heard of a single case where a criminal defamation with 2 years sentence has been passed against a person for this such a kind of sentence. मैं अगर खड़े होके गाली गलौज भी करूं सीधा 2-4 पैराग्राफ्स में आपके विरुद्ध, तो भी मुझे लगता है कि आज तक मैक्सिमम जो मैंने सुना है 3 महीने की सजा, 6 महीने की सजा, 2 साल की मैक्सिमम सजा फर्स्ट टाइम ऑफेंडर, एलिज्ड ऑफेंडर के लिए. मैंने तो सुना नहीं कभी. मैंने ये नहीं सुना कि जज के सामने ये पड़ा हुआ है, पेंडिंग है, खुद कंप्लेनेंट जाकर, that's a BJP MLA mind you, he goes himself and gets it stayed for 1 year. There is no halchal for 1 year. Suddenly Rahul Gandhi speaks on 7th of February in Parliament. The man goes on 16th of February, 9 days later, gets his own stay against himself vacated. That's 16th of February. The matter is reserved and the judgment delivered on 23rd of March. And the judgment is full of legal errors, bloomers. So that's why we are challenging it. But to suggest that because there is a slight logistical delay beyond the normal, which I entirely accept, and that's been for some other reasons, logistics, to suggest that there are conspiracy theories, अरे भुना इसलिए रहे हैं क्योंकि आपने 3 शहरों में, 3 प्रदेशों में जानबूझकर अपने कार्यकर्ताओं को खड़े होकर इसी मामले पे, जो कि कोलार में स्पीच हुई है, 3 प्रदेशों में 3 लोगों को खड़ा करके क्रिमिनल कंप्लेंट करवाई और एक को फास्ट ट्रैक किया. अभी 22 से 23 पड़ी हुई है, कंप्लेंट 19 की है, 21 से 22 कुछ होता, 22 से 23 आप खुद स्टे करवाते हो और 23 में आके सब कुछ 3 महीने में खत्म करवा के निर्णय आ जाता है. So therefore, I think the people don't eat grass in this country. They understand, they read between the lines. Please don't assume that people are fools. They understand that is this you don't agree with Rahul Gandhi, I entirely understand. Not you, I mean the other side. You don't like him, I understand. But he's after all a leader of a party. He's a senior parliamentarian. Is this the way you try and throttle him, that when he goes abroad, you say that you will not allow him to speak unless a prior condition precedent is an apology? And officially, in hardly 2 or 3 occasions I can remember, the ruling party says we'll disrupt parliament till he apologizes. And then you say, look, we have this defamation case, which must be. So, people read between the lines. People understand what magistrates have to deal with and how they have to act and what has happened in this case.
Okay. Okay. This is my last question to you, and it's about what has been happening in Parliament. For the last 2 weeks, complete washout. Third week has begun. Again, first 2 days, complete washout. In fact, what we are also seeing is Congress leaders go to the well of the House and throw papers at the chair of the Speaker. Is that how mature politicians should be behaving in the House, sir? I mean, you may disagree with the haste with which Rahul Gandhi was disqualified, but is this the way to protest? To take the disqualification paper, tear it up into pieces and fling it at the Speaker's chair?
Look, let us not make a pretense about the running of Parliament. Parliament was all but over when you applied the gillet. Three things happened. One, the ruling party officially, I repeat, all of last week has said we won't allow it to function. So why are they crying now on a Monday or this kind of thing now? For what? They have officially declared that we were allowed to function and Rahul Gandhi apologizes. Second, you have guillotined something like a finance bill and the appropriations issue twice in both the houses. Or actually 4 times, we count each of the separate ones. Everybody knows that this is only a formality which they are keeping on till tomorrow. Otherwise, they're not interested in Parliament because they've done all the business ex parte. Then, on top of this happens, and naturally there is an outpouring of emotion. People are entitled to come in black. People are entitled to voice. Whereas they're not allowed to speak anywhere. They're not allowed to see 3 or 4 motions by diverse parties, not Congress, says, let us speak on this issue. Nahi, permission nahi denge. Let us speak on Adani issue, permission nahi denge. Let us speak on this JPC issue, permission nahi denge. Let us speak on the Prime Minister's speech, we raised many issues, permission nahi denge. So we kya karenge? You can't have a one-way street where I will give you permission only on my terms for the issues I want. Wherever the government asks for any issue, start straight away. And then they say, Parliament is not functioning. You are yourself officially saying that we don't want Parliament unless he first apologizes. He's not going to apologize.
He's not going to apologize. He said as much, and I think the Congress party has said as much. We'll see how this plays out. Mr. Singhvi, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now at